Good afternoon and welcome back to DR Sports for another edition of DR Sports Transfers. Just over a week to go until the window firmly shuts, Matisse. A lot of business still needed to be done by the likes of your Uniteds, your Chelseas, your Arsenals. Liverpool definitely not involved in that. Remember, you can become a member now in DR Sports. We're seeing more and more people, every video that we do, join Tier 1, Tier 2. One of the guys who I know as a member has been sending in, there's actual Robbie emojis with him smiling.
Okay.
Upset ones as well. But you get exclusive access to early content that we release on DR Sports in what promises to be a crazy few months on the channel with the World Cup coming up, the season, the Champions League back, etc. And you can also join in the members-only chat, which is exclusive as you like, by the way. And it also means that your chats get bumped up that pecking order, and we can read them out before anyone else. So it's worth it. Get involved 100%. If you can. Right, let's dive into the transfer market. It looks like Ismaila Sarr's move to Villa has collapsed, Matisse. Stumbling blocks meant Villa have withdrawn. They've walked away from the negotiations. There was an agreement reached on Saturday for a fee to be around 25 million, with add-ons, of course, as every transfer has these days, those cheeky add-ons. And he was due to undergo the medical today. But the problems emerged when the two sides began to discuss the details of the deal, which included the possibility of Archer or Courtney House joining Watford on loan. But Gerrard's walked away. He wasn't in the squad for Watford on Saturday in the Championship against Preston. He says Rob Edwards, the manager, was left out due to injury. I mean, why has this broken down? And did actually Villa need Ismaila Sarr?
It's almost like he saw the performance against Palace and he was like, I've changed my mind. I'll go Palace instead. I think, do they need more attackers? It's a good question.
I don't think they do,
Leon
because
Bailey,
we're yet to see the best of Leon Bailey.
Yeah.
You know, Ollie Watkins and Ings rarely play together. One gets pushed out to the side, and then on the other side, you've, of course, got Coutinho. You've got Buendia as well. Yeah. Jacob Ramsey gets forward.
Yeah.
So I don't think they actually needed him, but it looks like Palace are going to swoop in and take Sarr, who, let's not forget, Sarr's been linked for a long time with the likes of Liverpool.
Yeah.
I know that when Mane was at the club, they had a close relationship, and there was rumours for at least a year, or at least two transfer windows, but it looks like Palace are going to get him.
Yeah, they love their out-and-out wingers, don't they, Palace, with your Zahas, your Alicias. So, and they do need an upgrade, I think, on Jordan Ayew as well. So they do need some competition, and Alicia is still developing. You know, he's definitely good on the eye to watch, but his output definitely needs work. So does Eze. So yeah, it will be a good sign if Palace can get over the line. They've got a very good team they're building there.
They are, and they do have those tricky wingers, as you mentioned, which Ismaila Sarr could join. Don't forget, they've also got Edouard up front, Ayew looking leggy these days. Yep. So it could be a fresh injection for them. Obviously picked up their first win at the weekend too. Let's go to Newcastle. They're expected to go in again with an improved offer for João Pedro from Watford again, according to Sky Sports. Apparently the first initial bid of 17.5 million was rejected. They're going to go in again. But they haven't stopped there, Newcastle. They've also been rejected from Leeds for Jack Harrison. A second approach now is going to happen. The initial approach was around 19 million, and they have recently increased their proposal, but the clubs remain miles apart in the valuation of the winger.
How much do you think Jack Harrison is going to go for? Because we're seeing prices soar. We see Gibbs White went for 44 million, I think.
I mean, that was
ridiculous.
What's
it was
the world
insane.
coming to? But with Harrison, I think he comes from good stock. If you remember when he was at New York City FC, Frank Lampard picked him out when he was a player there and said, he's the guy that I either want to work with or is going to be massive one day. Yeah. Very tricky. Had a good game yesterday. I mean, the English tax is what it is. I think that adds on another 20 mil, if I'm honest. But I don't think he's necessarily over the 20 mil mark in terms of what he brings to the team. I know he's quick and dangerous, but it's the consistency that I haven't seen. And it reminds me a little bit, not as bad, but the Anthony Gordon situation. Yeah. I'm looking at that as a comparison because for me, Harrison hasn't done enough like Gordon. And the 20 mil English tax probably takes that to 40, which is what
Gordon is around now. 50.
There you go.
Yeah, crazy quotes for these players.
20 mil, I'd say, for Harrison.
Yeah, I think that's
rejected.
fair, but it's definitely going to be way more. These in-league moves are really pricey now. Like we're seeing it this season with Richarlison, the Gordon asking price, Fofana's price. All of these in-league moves, if you're trying to take a player from the Premier League right now, you are going to have to pay.
But don't forget, if this deal does go through, Leeds are also left very short in that position.
Yeah.
So, of course, they don't want to get rid of one of their best players, but at the same time, if they do for a very good price, then they've only got a week to buy someone else, and they're going to be held to ransom whoever they want, because clubs will know
how much money
desperate.
they've received. Yeah, exactly.
So Newcastle still looking to add to that squad. 3-3 yesterday with Man City. Matty Renton was there. I'm sure he was very, very happy. Happy boy. Right, let's talk about Arsenal. There's been some rumours going around that Wolves are quite open to the idea of allowing Pedro Neto to leave. I saw yesterday Matty Cooper, massive Wolves fan, said he'd be open to the move as long as the price is right. So,
Surprising.
What is the price, and should Arsenal be going for him? Again, another, interleague move.
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost? And they're thinking it might be a semi-replacement for Nicolas Pepe, who goes to Nice on loan, apparently. So they're looking to fill his boots. But again, he doesn't start games.
Yeah.
And the attackers that they have up there at the minute, I don't think any of them are going to get dropped.
But they're going to need that competition. They're going to be in the Europa League when that starts up soon. Martinelli, is a player that he's obviously got to go up levels and really prove himself. He started the season really, really well. But you want that competition on that left-hand side for him, and there isn't really any. So Saka, he's got competition with Vieira when he comes back. He's been playing in the under-23s. He'll come back into the first team soon and probably be ready to play. But they definitely need just one more attacker, I think, just depth-wise. And obviously, Jesus and Nketiah will rotate up front. So, yeah, I think when it comes down to Neto, he's a very, very good player. I'm not sure what the asking price is going to be. Wolves.
If you had to put a price on his head. Because again, you got to remember, Wolves are not going to let him go for any kind of offer. They don't want him to go full stop.
Yeah.
He's one of their best players, so it's going to be difficult for them to get that one over the line. But how much would it cost?
I think you're looking at minimum 45, 50 million again.
I was going to say similar.
Yeah, and I think that's the price of a player like him, where he's got another gear to go to. Of course, he still needs to continue to prove himself, but he's a very, very good talent. And I think Arsenal makes sense for him right now. The way they're attacking with such pace and the rhythm and the patterns of play that they got put together there. Zinchenko behind him, it makes sense.
Yeah. Or Pedro Neto, if you're watching, let us know, mate. Where are you going to go? You're going to stay at Wolves or go to Arsenal? I can't see this one happening, if I'm honest. I give it a likelihood of 2 out of 10. Just because I know that Wolves won't want to let him go at this time of the window. Neto scored at Anfield on the last day of the season. He's tricky. He scored a couple of times at Anfield, a couple of years in a row, actually. So he's the player's there.
Yeah. Arsenal have shown they've got the money, though. They went for
Arsenal
Rafinha
have
as
got
well.
the money.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. But again, it's the consistency with him. It's the only question mark I've got. I mean,
but in a better team, would he?
Yeah,
that's the question, is it? Would he show that?
Yeah,
would he show that consistency at a better team, a team that play on the front foot more often, that create more chances? It'll be an interesting one, but yeah, they need someone.
Let us know in the comments, Arsenal fans, do you want to see Pedro Neto come through the door with just over a week left to go of the transfer market? Do let us know. Next up, Manchester United are still in deep talks with Antony. Agent says the deal now depends on Ajax's decision. Key days are ahead, according to Fabrizio. This move is one that has taken a while. There's been a lot of rumours. He clearly wants to leave Ajax.
Yep.
The Ajax manager has questioned his commitment to the club by basically saying, and I understand why managers do this, because they're playing mind games. The manager said, I don't see why he'd want to leave a Champions League club to go to a Europa League club, which would be true, and it is factual. But that question is leading everyone to the same answer. It's for the money. So the manager's basically saying, I'm not going to say it, but he's moving here for the money.
Well, I mean,
and he says it via saying, why would you leave a Champions League club?
Yeah.
It's clever.
It is a lot of money, and the wages are ridiculous as well. So we know he's taking that massive pay rise, and he's probably moving for the money. But it's all about in here. If he's mentally still got high aspirations to play at the top level, and of course the World Cup's coming up as well, he's going to want to be a big part of that for Brazil. Then he should still perform to the highest level. It shouldn't be a situation where he just massively drops off. I think he actually could help Varane maybe get back to his best form as well. You would hope as a Man United fan that you'll see some of Champions League Varane, the level that you actually thought you were bringing in the first place. And then when you have Martinez as well, who's still new, he hasn't been completely, taken over by Man United's recent run. I know he's had some games where people are highlighting him, but I think he's a bit overblown, and I think he's come into a situation with Shaw, with Maguire, where and De Gea, he's coming into a situation where it's almost impossible to stand out and rise the levels when everybody else's confidence is so low.
Absolutely. Another target that United are looking at the minute, Thomas Meunier labels his exit from Dortmund as propaganda. So he won't be leaving there. Another name they've been linked with is Cody Gakpo.
Yeah.
Been talking to United now for around the last 2 weeks. And an interesting fact, he's always been on United's list of players to buy, but he also shares the same agent as Eric Ten Hag. Does that
We've seen
make
this
you
before.
read into anything?
We have seen this before. And we know the dark arts of football behind the scenes.
Because that agent is pushing.
Of course. There's money in this.
There's
money in this. So that's what happens in football. Yeah, commission, exactly. So there's this is what happens in football. There's money involved. There's brown envelopes. There's cash in hand under the table. These things will happen. There's too much money in the game for mad things like that not to happen.
I agree. Totally agree.
So
with
yeah,
you. It's a shame, but it is what it is. Right. Last up, Tottenham. Again, a player that has been rumoured to leave for a long time now is Bryan Gill. Apparently, Valencia are going to take him on loan with no obligation to buy after when the loan finishes. And Ndombele's now in Napoli. It looks like they're getting rid of Gill. Looks like Lo Celso will leave. Looks like Harry Winks will leave. Do you think after they get rid of that deadwood, they'll be in a better position to go up a couple of levels?
Yeah, I think so. I think whenever you've got a squad, you don't want to have too many players. Klopp loves that. He doesn't want to have too many players on books as well. You don't want to have players that don't want to be there, that are unsettled, that don't really fit with what you're trying to do. Because now, as a man manager, you've still got to train those players. You still got to socialize with them, keep them happy, keep them somewhat interested, make sure they don't kind of infiltrate the rest of the group and make them unsettled, and have those little gossips and conversations and pull other people off track. So the more players you can clear out that are not 100% not part of your plans and not going to contribute to what you're trying to do this season, the better. So if they do clear that, even without bringing anyone in, I think when you clear players that don't want to be there, you make yourself a better team immediately anyway.
Yeah. I mentioned Harry Winks in that list as well. Listen, not the most technically gifted player, come through the academy at Tottenham, as a bit of a cult hero there, maybe. Maybe Tottenham fans let me know if I'm right or wrong there. But do you not think another Premier League team should have come in for him in terms of his Premier League experience? He's captained Tottenham in the Premier League as well. And for the last 3 or 4 years, he's been an in and out player at best. But at the same time, are you surprised that maybe not a West Ham or a Palace or a Wolves or a, dare I say, Everton have come in for him?
I'm surprised very much so, especially Everton, I think. Everton are looking at midfielders. They've been linked with so many players in midfield. Obviously, they signed Onana instead. But, Winks, Premier League proven, available. They don't need him and Skip. You say one or the other. It seems like they're going to try and get rid of Winks.
Yeah.
I am a bit surprised. I think, for me personally, he is a good player. He's not a poor player. There was even times where he was on the fringes of the England squad. I think he was in the England squad a few times as well. So, yeah, I think for me, but he's one of those moves that deadline day, last minute, deadline day, people are panicking. They're trying to see what else is available in the market. They have realized, we've missed this, or we need this position, or a big injury comes in the next game week or something. And then people start, going crazy for players. And also they might just be trying to really get the best deal for themselves in terms of a Harry Winks, because they know Tottenham are trying to sell. So they may even try and get a loan. They may try and get the cheapest possible deal because they know they have the power to do so when Tottenham are just so desperate to clear so many players out. It's so well reported who Tottenham want to get rid of.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll probably still be looking to bring one player in at least to replace the ones that are leaving, just for that squad depth. But there you go. As we mentioned, just over a week to go until the window finishes. There is a couple of free agents still knocking around though, Matisse. I've actually put together a free agent 11, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. So Ben Foster's in goal, 38 now, let go by Watford.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that he finds another club full stop, let alone a Premier League club at this age?
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes like hashtag United. Now he's on the YouTube thing and he just goes hashtag United and does like this big social media announcement. And obviously they've just got PK humble. Listen, don't rule it out. Do not rule it out, because it doesn't feel like he's 100% looking to come straight back into it. I know he says sometimes he is, but he does enjoy the YouTube camera, like podcast. He is enjoying that. So I don't think it's even a guarantee he even makes a move. I think he might. I think he might keep doing that.
Let us know what you think. Is there anyone who you maybe support that would take Ben Foster? I mean, been in the Premier League and Championship all of his career. Is there any way he could be tempted by a League One move? Maybe if you look at some of the big clubs that are still in League One or a League Two. I mean, you don't want to
fizzle out.
You don't want to fizzle out, but he is 38.
Yeah, exactly. So he's kind of at that age where you could
catch 22.
You could retire, and like I said, he's set himself up so well on other platforms that he doesn't really have to come back, and he's now doing collabs, and money-wise, I'm sure he's fine. So I don't really feel like it's a guarantee that he even makes a move. I think hashtag United is a shout. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there you go. Serge Aurier at right back. I've put Serge Aurier in. No club. Maligned for his, I guess, temperamental performances for Tottenham. Got sent off on his debut. Didn't really nail down that right-hand position. Actually, in fact, because he didn't do that, it's the reason why they brought in Emerson. It's the reason why they brought in Doherty. Still hasn't been fixed, that problem at Tottenham. And they're still looking to buy, well, they've just bought Jed Spence, who hasn't played yet.
Yeah.
But I think he's around 29, 30. Is there anyone that could maybe swipe him in Europe's top leagues?
Yeah, I think French league. That's where he obviously.
I think he was.
From, yeah.
Where was he last season?
On loan.
He was on loan. I think it was. Was it Lyon?
Nah, surely not. Lyon. I don't think so. But they'll let us know in the comments for sure. They're gonna
let us know.
And I'm sure I'm gonna look at the comments and think, damn, I should have known that one. But that team has not brought him permanently, so I don't know how well that loan move went. Maybe financially they can't afford him. I'm sure his wages are a decent amount at Tottenham, but yeah, I think for him, he just needs to go and get regular football now. And he's actually quite promising going forward. He can get some goals.
Villarreal. He played against Liverpool in the Champions League.
So he can get goals, but defensively he's always got that little question mark on him.
I mean, he's been at Toulouse, Lens, PSG, Villarreal last season. So I don't know, time's ticking. But I guess when you're a free agent, you can join a club at any time.
Yeah.
Denayer at the back.
Where does he go to? That's a tough one for him. Again, you have to think about it. Top 5 leagues. Who really needs that type of player at the moment? It's tough. I feel like players that are free agents right now, if you're still a free agent and the season's started, that's a bad look.
It's not the best.
It's not the best look at all.
And you've got Zagadou there as well. Again, probably won't get a club. Marcelo, the left back. Age is a problem.
Could go to Brazil. Maybe go back to Brazil. I think that's probably the most likely. I think player of his age now.
Luis Suarez back to Uruguay.
Yeah, you'd think maybe go back home. I don't know. It's tough.
This midfield, it stinks of the year 2012, if I'm honest with you. And we're 10 years after 2012. Right wing, Willian.
Oh, God. Fulham were linked with
Take him.
Yeah.
In the midfield, in the middle, Fabian Delph and Juan Mata.
Oh, wow.
Names of a bygone era.
Do you know what? To be fair to Juan Mata, I think he could do a job for some teams off the bench if they are needing a goal later on and they want some creativity. I seen him play for Manchester United in the 10 there last season. I can't remember exactly the game. He looked really good. So he's still pulling the strings.
So he's got a couple years left.
He was pace. Yeah, his game was never about pace. No. He's not going to lose his quality.
America?
Even America. Yeah, I wouldn't rule it out.
He'll get a deal. I'm pretty sure Juan Mata will get a deal.
He's still quality.
Another player who burst onto the scene, very much like Micah Richards, Adrian Januzaj.
Oh, wow, yeah, blast from the past.
Yeah, big
Remember
time.
that goal at Sunderland?
I do,
Stadium Light, left foot.
Again,
volley.
Real Sociedad, he's been on loan there.
Yeah.
Hasn't really worked out for him, and it's a shame, really, because so much promise. But anyway, he's in the free agent 11. And then up front, Belotti, who, again, has not got a club, still plays for Italy fairly regularly.
That is insane.
And Cavani, Edison Cavani, still no club. Could any of them move to a club that you support? Let us know in the comments. That is my free agent 11 with, of course, Matisse. And that's us rounding up the transfer activity for another day here on DR Sports. Take care. We'll see you soon.